Hello everyone, welcome back to ThoseYGOguys. I'm your host Alessandro. So, in this video, we're going to be discussing about the new Xyz Pendulum Dragon monster known as Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. And along with it, we're going to be discussing about Dragon Rulers. And I'm going to give you my perspectives and my opinions and my thoughts. And for those of you who are under a rock, have no idea about the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, I'll breeze over what it is and then I'll just go over my opinions and thoughts. Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon is a dark attribute Dragon Xyz Pendulum Effect monster, which is a rank 7, Pendulum Scale 4, 3000 attack, 2500 defense with the Pendulum Effect once per turn. If you do not have a card in your other Pendulum Zone, you can choose one Pendulum monster from your deck and place it into that Pendulum Zone. And of course, the summoning condition of Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon requires 2 level 7 dragon type monsters. So let's go into the monster effect. If you can Pendulum Summon level 7 monsters, you can Pendulum Summon this face-up card from your extra deck. If this card is Xyz summoned by using an Xyz monster as any of its Xyz materials, this card can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase this turn. Also, destroy as many level 7 or lower monsters that your opponent controls, as many as possible. And if you do, inflict 1000 points of damage to your opponent times the number of monsters destroyed by this effect. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy all cards in your Pendulum Zone, and if you do, place this card in your Pendulum Zone. Whew. Okay. So, a lot of people, including my friends, have been kind of like directing Dragon Rulers like, oh my gosh, Dragon Rulers, they can abuse the new rank 7 monster. Now, of course, granted, I can see Dragon Rulers work really extremely well with the new Red Eyes support, which happens to be Red Eyes Black Dragon level 7, understandable. But this one, I had to beg to differ, and here's why. Now granted, it does require 2 level 7 dragon type monsters, which, hey, if we had to refer to 2 level 7 dragon type monsters or any of the broad level 7 dragon type monster, we most commonly go back to Dragon Rulers because, hey, I mean, they've been in the game, they've made an impact in the game for quite some time. So, I mean, I don't think we can all argue about that. But here's my reasoning of why I don't think Dragon Rulers could utilize this card, or better not, just stay away from utilizing this card. Now, hypothetically, if Dragon Rulers were not banned, which unfortunately they are going to be banned on April 1st, 2015, due to the ban list. And here's why. Now, in order to activate Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon's monster effect, you need to have an Xyz monster, basically an Xyz dragon type monster, in it as his Xyz material in order to trigger or fulfill the condition, thus triggering his monster effects, or both of his effects. If you don't, you cannot really activate his effects, though it becomes like a 3000 vanilla body. Now, minus the fact that he can destroy your Pendulum Zones if he gets destroyed, and it goes there if you happen to have run any pendulums. Now, that's the thing. The pendulum mechanic. Do you think Dragons who want to sacrifice deck space for a mechanic that I don't think they would utilize so well? I mean, look, let's stop and think. So, Dragon Rulers, they can banish dragon type monsters and or elements to bring themselves out from the graveyard or special summon them from the hand. Okay. So, if this card happens to, I mean, being a pendulum monster, it'll go either A, goes to the pendulum zone due to its effect, or B, it goes to the face-up, retreat as a face-up card in the pendulum, in the extra deck zone. So Dragon Rulers cannot really touch Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon to special summon the Dragon Rulers. That's one. So if I want to, so that's basically the whole idea. Now, and because of the whole idea that the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon is being kind of treated as a vanilla, like a normal monster, if you use 2 Dragon Rulers to make this card, I would just rather play Blue Eyes White Dragon, knowing that, hey, if Blue Eyes goes to the graveyard, I could just banish Blue Eyes to bring out a Dragon Ruler. So that's one thing I just kind of don't find any agreement with people saying like Dragon Rulers can abuse this card. Now, granted, I mean, if they want to bring out a big beater, I mean, that has no effect. I mean, by all means, be my guest. But I mean, considering the rank 7 pool, and maybe they're about 26, at least 2,600 above, I'd rather just run like slightly less attack, but with good effects, rather than just a 3k body that has no effects. That's me. And honestly, now, some of you guys might be wondering, how can you summon this card and fulfill the condition? Now, there are two other cards in the Clash of Rebellion set, known as Creation Magician and Destruction Magician. And those two pendulum monsters will help you achieve making this card, and thus triggering its monster effect. All of it. So that's basically the whole scenario. So if you ask me what would be my perspective, now I have no idea about the Red Eyes, so I'm not gonna say anything about Red Eyes yet. The relationship between the Red Eyes and Dragon Rulers, or was it be a good build for them? So I have no idea as of right now. I would rather run the number 95 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon Mythic Ruler version, or at worst, maybe the Hierarch version, but I like the Mythic Ruler better. Then just running some obscure strategy, thus making All Eyes Rebellion Dragon that I probably not gonna see happening every single game. And honestly, if you're trying to make space to put Destruction Magician and Creation Magician and try to make little fancy dancy little plays and like, ooh, I'm gonna bring out All Eyes Rebellion Dragon and make this insane broken effect and all that, but the thing is, you're lowering the deck's consistency. And if you want to be serious about the game and want to do well or get better, you should not sacrifice some obscure power play. You should not sacrifice consistency. Sorry, I messed that one up. You should not sacrifice consistency for some obscure power play, and thus probably not gonna see it happening every single time. So that's my personal perspective and basically my own general thoughts. So you might be wondering, so why are the Dragon Rulers banned then in both the OCG and the TCG ban list? My best hunch will be the number 95 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon, since they happen to abuse the card so very well, and the Dragon Rulers never get power creep. Those cards it's really hard for them to get power creep. And the real issue, my best hunch, is not only that, is the summoning condition of those 4 Dragon Rulers. The fact that you can either banish two elements, or 2 dragons, or an element and a dragon to bring out a Dragon Ruler from hand or graveyard. That's where the problem begins. It's the summoning condition. It was the problematic issue. And not only that, since they're like generic to dragons, you can splash them to any dragon. You can put them like in Dragonities, you can put them in Hierarchs, you can put them any deck, even that runs very little dragons like Light Sworns and so on and so forth. It becomes problematic, and it's like adding more cards to the ban list. So ask yourself, would you want to put more cards on the ban list and remain just to keep 4 cards in the game, or would you ban all 4 of them, and then just unrestrict or unban the cards that are previously on the ban list because happens to be due to the fact that Dragon Rulers just abuse those cards? You ask me. And granted, I think maybe the Red Eyes support might play a little role to it, but those are my general thoughts and opinions on it. If you disagree, feel free to comment down below. So remember, leave a comment down below. I'm very interested in hearing your comments and your own thoughts and opinions. If you guys still want to see a link to the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, I will put a link down below in the description box. Yeah, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to ThoseYGOguys to keep in touch and also be updated with future content I'll be posting up in the future. So I think that's about it for me to say in this video. So stay tuned for more ThoseYGOguys. I hope you guys a good day, and see you later. Bye bye.